Once I have established my department program goals and my student learning outcomes and objectives, I can move down to working into this year's assessment cycle. Again, as I mentioned in a previous video, the information that we put into these two sections determines what we can put into the assessment plan, the assessment findings, and the institutional scorecard. We're going to start with the assessment plan section. So we're going to click it on the left, and then we're going to check it out. You are given the option of copying an existing plan or creating a new assessment plan. As this is our first time working in Taskstream, we will need to select Create a New Assessment Plan. Next year, when we are working on our assessment plan for 15-16, we may want to copy last year's assessment plan. So I select Create New Assessment Plan, and I'll want to select Outcomes. In order to create an assessment plan for this year, I need to link it with the existing set of department program goals or department program student learning outcomes and objectives. So I will select an existing set. Now I'm given the option of which set I want to be assessing this year. You can assess both, and I will show you examples of both, but for now I'm going to work on our program goal outcome set. I see right away here are the two program outcome goals that we set up at the top. I'm going to select program enrollment of 40 students. And I'll add a new measure to this. Now this one is particularly simple to do because my measure title will be program enrollment of 40 students. That's the ultimate goal that I'm going to get to, and the way I'll know if I'm successful is if there are 40 students enrolled in the program. So I'll write in the necessary information and I will apply changes. Now we can see here's a measure that we've established, something that we will be assessing this year. I'm going to create another outcome as well, but I'm going to link that to my student learning objectives. In order to do that, you see that it's not listed here because when we selected sets earlier, we only selected the program goal outcome set. So I'll go back up to the Select Existing Set button. I will select the student learning outcome set, and then I will select which one of these I plan on assessing this year. We're going to work on installing wiring systems and equipment in buildings. Now I'm prompted to add a new measure. The measure that I'm going to use is a program cumulative final examination. Because this is student learning oriented, there's more information I can put into this section. So I'll select measure type. This is a direct measure and I said it's an exam. Measure level, this is actually at the program level, not the course level. I will put in the description of the measure, which explains how I'm going to be measuring this. For this particular program, they'll be using this culminating exam, and they've outlined which questions on the check sheet rubric are getting at this outcome of installing wiring systems. I will then identify a target, which is how do I expect my students to perform, or how will I know that my students are achieving the level that I want them to. For this particular one, it is such an important outcome that I've decided that 95% of students will need to get 4 out of the 5 questions right from the check sheet rubric section on installing wiring systems. I'll identify where it's taught, where it is assessed, and then when this is going to happen. So as this is at the end of the program, this will happen in the spring semester. When I select Apply Changes, I can now see the description of the measure that I'm using in this semester, the information about what courses it's taught in, and the target that I have for student success. Now I have added measures to these two different program goals, and if I wanted to add another measure, let's say I had another test that evaluated this particular skill, I would select Add New Measure. That's all I need to do to set up the assessment plan.